In today's video, we are making $1 million lasagna and garlic bread. First, you want to start out with some sausage. I cooked those yesterday. Those are crumbles. I got ground beef. You can use chicken or turkey, however you like. I've got the oven ready lasagna noodles just to save time. We've got mozzarella cheese. Here in this video, I'm just using the 2 pounds, but if you need extra, that's all optional. We've got crushed tomatoes, cottage cheese, sour cream, and cream cheese for our cheese mixture. I am adding bell peppers and onions to my ground beef along with garlic. The first step I do is saute the onions and peppers until they're sort of translucent. I add salt and I add pepper. And once they're done, I add in the garlic at the end, and I give that a good stir before I add in the ground beef. I cook the ground beef, and then I add in some seasonings like garlic powder, onion powder, some Italian seasoning, and whatever seasonings you like, you can add in there. And when the ground beef is almost done is when I add in the fully cooked sausage crumbles. I don't add them into the raw meat. So I give that a good stir. It's all done. Then you want to go in and drain your meat. Do not have greasy meat. It will not turn out right. I go in with the marinara sauce, or you can use spaghetti sauce. It's up to you. And I also add in the can of crushed tomatoes. This is the base of our sauce. And you want to make sure you stir that, get it all blended up really well before you add in your next batch of seasonings. Now, you can season this to your liking. I'm using Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I also add a little bit of sugar to balance out the acidity in the sauce. Trust me, it's not going to make your sauce sweet. It's going to make your sauce savory. And once I get that stirred up, I put a lid on it and put it to simmer. And while that sauce is simmering, I go ahead and I grind up my cheeses. You can use cheese out the pack if you want. I prefer cheese shredded. It melts better. And when we go ahead and we make the cheese for our lasagna, you're going to put in the cream cheese, sour cream, cottage cheese, and then you're going to slowly add in the cheese. And once you get all of that in there, you want to add Italian seasoning and parsley. I added a little bit more sour cream to mix it up, and then this is the finished cheese product once I put the last batch of cheese in. Our sauce is now done. After about 10 or 15 minutes of simmering, you want to start the layering process. Make sure that you layer your pan with sauce before you put the noodles in so that the noodles do not stick to the bottom of the pan. The first layer you want to do is the cheese mixture, and you want to spread the the spaghetti sauce on top of that, and then you add cheese. You go in with your next layer. You're going to put the noodles down, the cheese mixture, and the ground beef, and then cheese. Once you do those 2 layers, you go ahead with the top layer, and on the top layer, all we're going to add is the sauce. And then on top of the sauce, we're going to put cheese. And then I sprinkled a little parsley and Italian seasoning on top of mine. You want to cover this loosely with foil. That way the cheese does not stick to the top of the foil. You want to put it in the oven on 375 for about 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get started on the bread. I'm cutting a French loaf in half that I bought from the grocery store. And then I go ahead and make my butter mixture. I use 1 stick of butter. I add in fresh garlic and then my herbs and seasonings, which is basically Italian seasoning and green goddess from Trader Joe's. That has a whole bunch of herbs in it. It tastes so good. Try it. Once that is done, you want to drizzle some of that on top of your bread and you want to rub it in the bread. Rub it in there so the flavor goes all through the bread. And when that's done, when you're done rubbing it in, use the remaining butter just to spread on top. It does help if you let the butter solidify a little bit, but in this case, I didn't have time. You want to put this in the oven for about 10 minutes or so, depending on how you like your bread done. I put mine on 400 for about 10 minutes, and this is what it looked like. Now you can take that out and add cheese, and it'll be even better. This is the finished product. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And if you like that, please subscribe, and I'll be back with more recipes. Thank you for watching. Bye.